your date too. Okay. All right. So the discussion is basically where do we place people, right? Okay. Let's write that up. So Ara and Jing, this morning we're going to talk about. I'm on my laptop right now, so it's a little bit slower than my usual machine. But okay, let's set up the context. Now, um, let's talk about the original intent. So the original intent is to put Shailene in to doing the PCI work for doing CV screening, right? Um, do you still have that objective, or is did you find like there's a better objective? Okay, back to Ara. In terms of your original intent and versus right now, what do you think is the biggest motivation from what I understand is looking at what Kiki's doing and seeing that she needs help, and then moving the delegates time resource to help with that, right? Is that that's the key motivation? Okay. Okay, in this particular regard, with delegation, I would take a look at a few things. The very first thing is actually I would take a look at the funnel at the moment. So if I take a look at the funnel, let's go ahead and take a look to see if there's any roadblocks right now. All right, so on the SMU, there seems to be like two applicants. Okay, zero trial candidates, zero chapter ready hires. So this one is, it seems like it's maybe bottom funnel blocked. Let's take a look at another card. Let's take a look at maybe this card on HAR. HAR looks like it's flowing. All right, this is very fluent. There's 7, 6, and 3. So that means everyone's getting through. And then OnPad, let's take a look at that. OnPad, whoops, doesn't have a funnel yet, so we can't see. Let's take a look at UGM Master. No update yet, so we'll need some updates on that. Okay, Freelancer. This one seems to be working okay, but this one doesn't require anybody to screen CV, so that should be okay. This one's a little bit okay. This one doesn't really have any applicants yet, and there's no on trial site applicants yet. Okay, so based on a few things, one, it does actually look like your top of funnel needs more, how would you say, results at the moment. All right. So if you take a look at, let's say, oh, result called. Hey there, result called. He's probably like, yo, where are you guys at? So we're in Canggu right now. We're going and doing some canvassing. Um, Okay, so what was I talking about? So in most of your cards, Ara, I see that the top of funnel is the area that seems to need the most amount of activity. If there's no top of funnel activity, then there probably won't be the chapter ready new hires. So I think in terms of, let's say, you as a strategist, you as a chapter lead, that should be your first priority on how to decide where to allocate people. It's where do I need to generate the results? If you don't have any top of funnel results, you won't get bottom of funnel results. So in this particular way, I'd say sending Shaylin for the moment to help Kiki is actually strategically good, right? Because then otherwise you'll have a hard time getting your SLAs in place. If you have Shaylin work on screening right now, I don't know. Okay, so here's the thing about data and reporting. From the data I can see, it doesn't look like there's any bottlenecks in screening. Does that make sense?
There is a bottleneck in screening.
It does not look like there's a bottleneck in screening.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think as a leader, this is where this data comes in to be very helpful. If it's sort of like, how would I say you can see the entire flow of your chapter this way. If you don't see any top of funnel activity, I as a leader I would prioritize my team to start working on top of funnel activity, right, in order to draw that amount of candidates through the funnel. If you see that there's a bottleneck, let's say you get hundreds of applicants, but you get no You get no candidates, and you get no, you basically get no on-site trial candidates, and you get no first interview candidates. Then that is a condition where there's a traffic jam at the top of funnel, and you need to delegate people to work on the middle part of the funnel. Ideally, each of your SLA managers will manage that for you. So let's say, for example, you're on A2, right? And so if you're on A2, you'll know that, right? You'll feel the you'll feel the influx of I've got to screen all these people. I have no, and then that manager of A2 then needs to go out and find a way to recruit help from the chapter so that they can get things going. Chapter ready new hires, that's Alethea, right? So getting the onboarding done correctly for people who have who have passed on-site trials. Now, that could also be the bottleneck at some future date, right? We have a lot of people who pass over, but they're not ready to do. They're not chapter ready because they haven't been onboarded correctly. So the way I would prioritize is always based on the condition of how the funnel looks, and not necessarily on how busy somebody is. So if somebody is busy, but if they're in a strategic position where their busyness is not really, how would I say, it's not really crucial to the performance of the team, then that busyness is okay. You're busy, but you're this isn't where the funnel really needs attention at the moment. Okay, what do you think about that?
Sir, is it okay as a leader to interfere every time we see that somebody's business is not supporting SLA or not really prioritized?
Of course. I think that's one of the most crucial things you have to be radically candid about. Being busy, Ara, I think is not the end goal, right? Um, I think Bayou is a pretty good example of that. So being busy is not like I don't ever think that Bayou's ever gives off the impression that he's super busy, right? In fact, his life philosophy is always to be as lazy as possible. So being busy is a good sign. I think it's not stage zero. Stage zero is your people are unmotivated and they don't know what to do. So it's better than that for sure. But it's not the highest stage. I think the higher stage is that, let's say they're not that busy, but they're very impactful, and they remain ready to think of new ideas. Right, that would probably be the best outcome. So if somebody's busy but they're not making impact, then I would look at how to improve that. I have a tip actually. Would you like to see it? Okay,
Yes.
so we just did this yesterday with community, and I worked with Tendi to get this implemented, and it was actually pretty cool. So basically, what we have here is you can see here on community that there's uh, pretty much three main programs. Okay, there's a program for cleanliness, there's a program for reducing the booking conflicts, and there's a program for community engagement. These three programs. Do you know why they are stacked? No, do you know why they're stacked this way? Why is this one on top, this one in the middle, and this one at the very end?
I think it's based on priority.
Exactly. So it's based on priority, and that is something as a leader of your chapter you'll need to. That's essentially your job, right? You need to direct the people on your team to work on whatever is the highest priority campaign, or what's the highest priority. Oh, you have video? Okay, okay, cool. I'm gonna go to Samson in a second. Okay, hey, you wanna say hi to her?
Anak.
She's right here. Hey.
Hi,
Ah,
Wan. Halo.
Oke, aku mau video call juga ya.
Okay.
Oke, mau.
Okay, so once you have this as a lead, then you're essentially signaling to people you follow what needs to be done in which priority, right? It allows you a very direct amount of control. What you can do after that, which is pretty transformational, is that then helps you set time budgets. Okay, so after that, let's take a look at Tendi. Tendy started getting this practice out to his team because um, he has Gabby right now, right? She's an intern, and Gabby was feeling overwhelmed, like, oh, I'm spending so much time on this and whatever, and that's pretty normal for a lot of interns to feel that way because they don't have good time management. I've noticed that new people working, they don't have good time management because school manages their entire schedule, right? You go to class from this time to this time. You go this time to this time. So the idea of actually planning your own schedule is something that is completely new. It's like kind of like, I'll put an analogy. It's like after I graduated college, it was the first time. No, after I moved out of the dorms, it was the first time I had to buy my own fruits and vegetables. I was like, I always thought that fruits and vegetables were sort of just given. Okay, so why am I telling you this? You see here, Tendy's schedule. It is based on the campaigns, right? So every day he's going to be working a certain amount of time on each particular campaign. And like right now, Tendy's working on the Facebook campaign, which is part of I forgot one of his campaigns there. So he's budgeted time essentially to work on that. Now, I have a different philosophy than Bayou. Bayou has an even higher philosophy, which is you should not schedule time to do something. You should schedule time to deliver results, right? So that's even higher, but I think we need to learn to walk before we learn to run in that particular dimension. So the idea of time blocking right now, the very least thing that it does is it allows you as a leader to set the time priorities for the people on your team, right? And here's something that's pretty cool. So once Tenny has done that, then the other thing that he did that was pretty, I think, transformational was that he did what was it? Was it? Okay, he got everybody else on his team to do the same. You see, this is Rafik's schedule now, and for it depends, right? Ideally, it would be great if everybody on the team started working on the same campaign at the same time and they ended on the same time because that allows for the best type of coordination. Let's say you're on Slack and you Slack somebody and they're also working on the same campaign that you are, but you're on different SLA levels. Then that's great, right? Then they're also in the context of doing the same work that you are. So it's like almost like you're in the same class at the same time. So my point is this: the way that you can manage or help manage people's time. This is an intermediate solution. I don't think this is the end solution, but the intermediate solution is that you can get this time blocking to reflect the campaign structure. So then people should never really be too busy because they have budgeted their time correctly. Okay, what do you think of that, Mara?
Okay. Yeah. Understood.
Okay.
I will try to monitor and think about the time budgeting for both Kiki and Shailin in
Yes,
the
I think,
future.
I think that way because when people don't have, let's say, time budgeting or time management skills, they always feel overwhelmed. They are either doing not enough work and feeling guilty about it, or they're doing too much work and then they don't necessarily prioritize. They generally obsess, so they'll tunnel vision into one particular thing and spend all their time working on that. But overall, the current strategy of having Shaylin work on top of funnel activities at this moment in HR, I think, is very important. Um, but the hard part in HR that I'm having, and probably you're feeling this too, as a struggle, is the data reporting, right? So if you take a look at some of these cards, these still don't really have actionable, they don't have numbers or figures or anything on them yet, right? So, okay, look, for example, right, like on your card, um, we don't have numbers here yet. The number should be 00000. Um, the numbers might actually be something also a little bit different, Ara. You could actually think about it this way. So this could be a distribution point post. like what we talked about with Kiki's side. So let's say the point of doing this UGM discussion is to encourage people to become an intern. I guess it opens up the question that can people sign up to become an intern before they attend the discussion? I mean, maybe, right? I mean, there's no sort of reason why not, right? If somebody's properly motivated and we ask the question, um, would that be out of hand or whatever? So part of the marketing for the event could actually have a impact on the number of applicants, don't you think?
Yeah, hello.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. What do you think
Hello,
about
sir. Can you hear me?
that? Yes, I can hear it.
Uh, about the applicants before the times of the seminar.
Yeah, yeah. Or what I'm saying is even just to like before the seminar happens, there's going to be some marketing done, right? UGM, whoever will start spreading out news that this event's about to happen. Couldn't we suggest that they put something saying that, hey, look, Bukit Vista is accepting internship positions at the same time? That way, your marketing that's being done by the school is
Yeah.
also helping you to bring in applicants. And yeah, if we have that consciousness, what you can do is you can connect Kiki to that and have them dialogue with the school to include this message in the marketing or whatever that they're doing to attract attendees to the talk, right? Okay, so yeah, and then Kiki can start working on it
Yeah.
in the very start. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the other,
I'll try to. I think
oh, go ahead.